Muslims and really Islam only being given in states rights to practice their religion and other human rights, but not having full political rights, indeed, not having their own Islamic state. And I certainly do not expect you to change your views on this whatsoever. I wonder, however, if you can fully understand why non-Muslims would almost certainly oppose any kind of Islamic state, especially one in which they live, and did not grant them political rights as well as human rights on an equal basis with Muslims. And also, given that you say, yes, you want an Islamic state, you're saying now, first and foremost in Pakistan, but the real idea is to have either Islamic states around the world or to have the world become an Islamic state, then I wonder if you can understand why for a good many of us non-Muslims that would only mean difficulty first of all, but also probably conflict, because the rights would not be given fully, and if you're thinking of a world Islamic state, then that would be conflict throughout the whole of the world. So I'm wondering if you can understand that, which I think you can, but then what would you say about that? How would then conflict cease to be as long as there were non-Muslims in this world?
First of all, we hope that when a model Islamic state is established somewhere on this globe, most of the humanity and mankind will see the truth with their own eyes and accept Islam. But I don't say that the conflict will be over. There will remain certain persons, but in the revolutionary terminology, all the people in Russia were not communists. But they had to accept the communist order. It is the revolutionary force that establishes its order of its choice, and the others have to obey. This is the rule. This has been the rule throughout. But let me quote about Muslims, not to speak of Islam. About Islam, let me quote an incident. Omar, the second caliph, went to Damascus. And there he saw a Jew begging in the market. He called the governor for explanation. How come? When he was young, you were taking jizya from him, and now when he is old, you have thrown him into the street to beg. Fix the allowance for him, just like the allowances for Muslims. This is Islam. The basic right that the Islamic Caliphate underwrites all the basic human necessities for every citizen. It covers the non-Muslims also. Number two, about the Muslim kingship. Let me quote Ben Gurion, what he said. The golden era of our diaspora was the Muslim Spain. In what a high position were the Jews over there.
One small comment there, if I may, and that's only this, that I think the way possibly lots of these golden eras have been defined are such that the golden era of the Indian history in the last millennium is considered to be Akbar's rule. Akbar's rule.
Yes. And the Muslim ascendancy was at its zenith during Akbar's rule.
No,
but Islam had gone.
Yes, that's what I mean. You see, so therefore, I think to try and relate the faith of the ruler to the golden era possibly could be erroneous.
That is not our golden era.
Yeah,
that's not the golden era of Islam.
Not of Islam.
Yes,
for the people.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to draw our attention that the journal we edit in Hartwood Seminary in the past issue, the combined issue of July and October of last year, we published a special issue on Pakistan and Allama Maududi. And I'm sorry that we don't have a copy of that here, but we have like 13 major articles on Maududi and Pakistan, which are significant in many ways. Now the question that I have is about two major events that you have referred to only briefly. The event of partition, the partition of India in 1947, and the consequence of the partition, the creation of an Indian nation state and a Pakistani nation state. Now I want to talk briefly about the nation state of Pakistan. If I understand you correctly, you are saying from your own perspective that the nation state of Pakistan that has come on the heels of partition has not established true Islamic ideas and true Islamic rule and true Imam. So in that sense, for the past 56 years or so, the nation state of Pakistan has not been a true Islamic state. That's
100% agreed.
okay. Therefore, my question is, within the partition, at least 4 or 5 million innocent civilians were killed on both sides. Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, all sorts of innocent people. Now, was it worth it to kill so many people for a secular nation state of Pakistan that you disagree with?
Brother, I was not involved in that killing.
No, I'm not asking you. No. True, but the fact is...
And neither the leaders of Congress or Muslim League
But that doesn't
would
matter.
envisage that this would happen.
Yeah, but partition, the whole idea of partition, gave rise to so much killing within India and Pakistan.
Yes, it's a
And from an Islamic perspective, that's not worth it to establish a non-Islamic state later on.
I agree.
I have two questions. I want to learn, you see, but I may ask private. Yes. The first question is how do you consider Imam Rabbani and Shah Dahlawi in
Mujaddid, I have named the first Mujaddid.
Yeah, Mujaddid, but I think, as far as I know, maybe my knowledge is a very little and limited. Imam Rabbani, he didn't aim an Islamic state. So, how do you consider Imam Rabbani's views?
I have said, that the Islam during these centuries was gradually reduced to mazhab.
Yeah, I mean,
and
when you consider his views and ideas,
also private affair.
Yes.
Iman is also a private personal affair.
Yeah.
Personal piety. That was the goal of most of the Mujaddids.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Only one fact. In terms of Islamic intellectual history in South Asia, Shah Waliullah of Delhi and Imam Rabbani Sirhindi, we have one major Canadian Muslim woman scholar on that in the USA, Professor Marcia Hermanson, who is known to some of our faculty in the seminary. She's somewhere in Chicago, not at the University of Chicago.
She's
DePaul University, who has done tremendous work on Sirhindi, especially on Loyola University. Thank you. Yes. So we are doing something. Thank you so much.
لا